Zangpola, you're watching our special program introducing Her Excellency Ruchira Kambo, who is appointed as the 18th Ambassador to Bhutan. Ruchira Kambo is the first woman Indian ambassador to Bhutan. She last served as the High Commissioner of India to South Africa. She also served as the Indian ambassador and permanent representative to the UNESCO-Paris. Is this your first visit to Bhutan?
Yes, indeed. This is my very first visit to Bhutan. And as far as my impression of Bhutan is concerned, I immediately thought that a dear partner and friend. And as far as the Bhutanese are concerned, always respectful, always soft-spoken, and always very well-mannered. In fact, I sometimes feel, that here in Bhutan, we don't do diplomacy. It's more like a friendship between two countries and their people.
That's beautiful. Bhutan and India marked 50 years of diplomatic relations last year. How special does this make Bhutan to India and India to Bhutan?
Oh, very special indeed. Over the years, this relationship has been fostered and nurtured by the Druk Gyalpos of Bhutan and Indian leadership. And today we are at a space where our two countries are cooperating in diverse sectors for mutually beneficial growth and progress. You would recall that in 2014, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had made Bhutan his first foreign destination. And again in 2019, the Foreign Minister of India, Dr. Jaishankar, has made Bhutan his first foreign destination. And going forward, we will do whatever it takes to take this relationship to even greater heights.
And you have been recently appointed as the 18th Indian Ambassador to Bhutan. What would be your priorities for cementing this historic tie between the two countries?
Well, as I've already said, this friendship between our two countries rests on excellent foundations. And my priority would be to further grow these excellent existing foundations, as also to forge this friendship in new areas of cooperation. One area that comes readily to mind is space science and technology. Another area could be judicial cooperation between our two sides. We're exploring this sector. And yet again, I feel if we can have more exchanges between institutes of excellence and education between our two countries, leading to a greater exchange of students, teachers, professors, I think that would be wonderful.
The historic visit of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru had strengthened the friendship between the two countries, which was also the start of economic bilateral ties between the two. How do you see the status of these ties today?
Well, I see the ties in a very good space. Today our two countries are cooperating across diverse platforms. There has been a regular exchange of visits at the political level between the leadership of our two countries. Commercially speaking, India is Bhutan's most important trading partner. Just this weekend, we all know that the first unit of the Mangdechu hydroelectric power project was inaugurated. Truly, I mean, I had been to Trongsa last week, and truly I think it's an engineering marvel and one of the best examples of a win-win partnership between any two countries. This weekend I had also, along with the Health Minister of Bhutan, inaugurated a 40-bed, soon to be upgraded to a 60-bed hospital in Wangdi in Bhutan. And aside from that, aside from the various projects, there is robust cooperation in the education sector between our two countries. Then our cultural ties are very close. Both our cultures are so rich and unique. And I think both the people of our two countries, when Indians come to Bhutan, or I think, dare I say, when Bhutanese go to India, there is a great deal of comfort level between the people of our two countries. So I see this relationship in a very good space, and as I've already said, so I reiterate that going forward we will do whatever it takes to take this relationship to even greater heights. And as Prime Minister Modi has said, that Bhutan is a key priority in India's foreign policy.
And India has played a crucial role in supporting Bhutan's 5-year plans. What new can we expect during your tenure as the ambassador?
Well, whatever new we do, I must underline, will always be per the wishes and aspirations and priorities of the people of Bhutan. And one sector I've already mentioned to you, which I think has enormous potential in this technology era that we live in, which is space technology, space science and technology cooperation. So you would perhaps know that in 2017, India had launched the South Asian satellite. So ISRO Bangalore, the Indian Space Research Organization in Bangalore, has developed a ground earth station here in Thimphu, which is actually up for an inauguration. And very shortly, I'm told within a span of months now, this ground earth station in Thimphu will be linked to very small aperture terminals across the country. Giving the benefits of weather forecasting, disaster management and communications to the people of Bhutan. So this, I think, is a wonderful new area which our two countries will be cooperating on. I also very recently had the pleasure of meeting 4 bright space engineers from Bhutan, one of whom was a lady actually. And as I understand this, very soon this group of 4 would be headed to India for a further training at the ISRO facilities in Bangalore. So this is just a tiny example of the new areas that our two countries will be cooperating on going forward in this 12th plan period, sorry.
Besides this special friendship, India and Bhutan also share a unique culture. So how can Bhutan and India learn and benefit from each other?
Yes, I fully agree with you. I think our two cultures are so rich and so unique, if I may say so also. And already there's existing cooperation in the culture sphere between our two countries, which has already strengthened the people-to-people ties between our two countries. Let me just draw your attention to Mountain Echoes. That is such a well-known Bhutan brand. And every year, writers, poets, artists come together for 3 days, and I think that yields some excellent outcomes. So this year, this is the 10th anniversary of Mountain Echoes, and as I've said in another forum, it returns to Bhutan bigger, better, and I'm sure brighter. This year, I must tell you also, we have 2 very exciting programs lined up, I hope. One is a collaboration between the Khadi Village Industries Commission of India and the Royal Textiles Academy of Bhutan. So both our countries have a glorious heritage of textiles. And so we thought, why not bring the two together? And through the Textiles Academy, we would take some Bhutanese designers to India to work with 3-4 Indian designers and develop a line of clothing which combines Khadi and your textile. And we hope that we will have a very special event on 2nd October 2019, which is the 150th birthday of Mahatma Gandhi, dedicating it in his memory and dedicating it to the friendship between our two countries. So I think that is something we can all look forward to in the cultural sphere. Also, I understand that Bhutan has a young population that is very fond of music and dance. And in August, actually coinciding with Mountain Echoes, we are getting an Indian pop group by the name of Mrigya. They're very, very good and they do a wonderful fusion. So I hope we can showcase some of that also this year to Bhutan. And finally, in November, we are bringing the renowned dancer, choreographer, and now Member of Parliament, a person of such great talent, Sonal Mansingh, her production by the name of Apo Deepo Bhava, which means be a light unto yourself, which traces the light of Gautam Buddha. So that is up for November. And the other way round, Bhutan in India, I know last year that Bhutan had a highly successful Bhutan Week in India. And people couldn't get enough of your tasty cuisine and your beautiful handicrafts and textiles. So I think a lot of this cultural interaction is happening. And going forward, I've already listed 3 activities and we hope to do much more in the coming weeks and months.
This might sound like a cliche, but having first woman Indian ambassador to Bhutan sort of feels special for us Bhutanese women. Can we expect more leads, advantages for Bhutanese women?
Well, first of all, let me say how very impressed I am by Bhutanese women. Very recently, I was thrilled to meet Drukair's First Lady pilot, Sonam Dema. Also, your Chief of Protocol is a lady, and having been one myself, I can tell you that this is a very tough and demanding job, and she does it with so much sophisticated elegance. I've also met a lady space engineer from Bhutan and was highly impressed, and I know she's going to India for further training, and I wish her all the very best. And actually just yesterday I had representatives from the Jigme Singye Wangchuk School of Law, and they were telling me that the class of 2022 and the class of 2023 has actually more lady students aspiring to be lawyers more than male students. So I think Bhutan itself is forging ahead in this field and doing wonderfully well. As far as I'm concerned, you know, I'm delighted to be in Bhutan at this time when women are doing so much. You yourself are a lady. And I will look for every opportunity to meet more Bhutanese women and to work more with them.
You have spoken widely about discovery of zero by the renowned Indian philosopher and mathematician. How can Bhutan gain from India's ancient knowledge, wisdom, and scientific achievements?
I think you're talking about the International Conference on the Zero that we had organized at UNESCO in 2016. Yes, you're absolutely right. You know, India has a glorious tradition of mathematics and science from ancient times down to the present. When we talk of ancient times, we talk of the great mathematicians, grammarians and linguists like Pingala, Panini and of course Aryabhat. Then there was the Kerala school down to Srinivas Ramanujan, the man who knew infinity. And I know that event at UNESCO, which is the UN's educational arm, was deeply liked, and it culminated with a gift from India to UNESCO, which was the bust of Aryabhat, which now occupies a commanding presence at UNESCO, adorning its central entrance. And as far as coming down to present times, as far as India, Bhutan are concerned, I've already mentioned that we have a great tradition of science and space technology, and I think going forward we are going to be collaborating in this sector, and I'm sure in many such allied sectors. So I see a lot of good collaboration between our two countries in this technology era that we are living in.
And you have also immensely supported awareness on yoga at the UNESCO. So what can Bhutan learn and gain from this ancient wisdom of yoga?
Well, you're absolutely right. Yoga is an ancient Indian wisdom, but now it actually belongs to humanity. And you would recall that in December 2014, as a direct consequence of the initiative taken by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the United Nations General Assembly, by consensus adopted a resolution declaring 21 June as International Yoga Day. And exactly 2 years later, in December 2016, UNESCO, which is the UN's educational and cultural arm, adopted another resolution declaring yoga to be the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. So I don't believe there can be a greater recognition of this ancient Indian tradition at a global stage than at the UN at UNESCO. Yoga, as far as I understand this, is a complete control of the mind, and through a control of the mind, efficiency in action. And it's nice that you asked me this question, because the 5th International Yoga Day is round the corner, and the Bhutanese have participated in our various run-up activities to this day with a great deal of enthusiasm and vigor, and I thank them for that. But the big event really is Sunday, 23 June at the Changlimitang Stadium, and we invite all of you to come. And as we say in India, if you do yoga, zindagi rahe khush, you will be happy.
One of the biggest contributions of India to the world is the ancient wisdom of yoga. So why is yoga so important in today's world?
Well, yoga has received global recognition. It is an ancient Indian tradition which now belongs to humanity. In December 2014, as a direct consequence of the initiative taken by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the United Nations General Assembly adopted by consensus a resolution declaring yoga to be 21st June as the International Day of Yoga. And likewise, exactly 2 years later, in December 2016, UNESCO did likewise, declaring yoga to be the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. So as you can see now, yoga belongs to the world, and every year on 21 June, we have a robust celebration across the globe. And Bhutan is not far behind. I've noticed this year that everyone has participated with great enthusiasm in these yoga celebrations. And we are looking forward to the big celebration on 23rd June at the Changlimitang Stadium. Why is yoga so important? I think in simple, short words, it is a way of life, a way of being, the perfect union of the mind, body and spirit for a better life. And we also believe in India that it leads to a happier person.
And non-communicable disease is one of the biggest concern in Bhutan as well. So how can Bhutan benefit from the practice of yoga?
Well, because yoga is a holistic way of being. It is the complete and the perfect cure, as they say, for body, mind and spirit. And I think I would urge all Bhutanese, if I may, that if you practice yoga regularly, consistently, you will see the benefits yourself.
And as you have mentioned that June 21st has been is being observed as International Day of Yoga worldwide. The theme this year is climate action. So how can we participate and contribute in our own small ways?
I think the answer lies in your question. The goal may be lofty, but if you participate in your own small way and you become regular practitioners of yoga, you will see the change in yourself. We do believe that yoga leads to a calmer, peaceful, more serene personality. And in our own small, special way, I think this can lead to something big in the long run.
Yoga as a fitness practice is now gaining popularity in Bhutan as well, and I believe there is increasing number of participants in Nehru Wangchuk Center as well. So your advice for our viewers?
You know, I think you're right. The Nehru Wangchuk Center has over the years done wonderful work. We hold free yoga classes, not just in Thimphu, but across Bhutan. We have a yoga teacher from India who travels extensively and is very happy to give his services to whoever demands more. And my advice, since you're asking me, to all young Bhutanese in particular and to Bhutanese of all age groups is try yoga and see the difference. Be regular, and I'm sure and positive that this will change your life.
Finally, moving on to personal questions. What was your immediate reaction when you heard that you have been appointed as the new Indian ambassador to Bhutan?
I felt that I was living my dream. It was a dream come true.
And how did your family receive the news?
Oh, they were very pleased for me. They always support me, needless to say, and they were equally delighted.
And do you have plans to travel and see other parts of Bhutan as well?
Yes, of course. So far, I've been here just a month, and most of my travels have been work-related. So I have gone to Trongsa to see the Mangdechu project. I've been to Punakha, and just over the weekend, I was in Wangdi as I inaugurated the 40-bed hospital. I've also been to Phuentsholing in relation with commercial work and to meet the Indian business community in Phuentsholing. And going forward, I look forward to visiting many, many beautiful parts of this beautiful country.
And you have traveled, lived and worked in mega cities of the world from London to Paris. As a well-traveled person, what was your most unique observation in Bhutan?
I don't believe I have as yet traveled to any country that is culturally more strong than Bhutan. And this stamp of culture you see everywhere around you. As I see this in your buildings, in your dress, in the development projects that you do, you see a very strong cultural stamp. And trust me, this is really beautiful to behold. And I think I can add to that by saying that, you know, culture is not just something beautiful that you see or something that you feel. It is also a great unifier. And it unifies the people across the country. And I find that so remarkable about Bhutan, and honestly, I salute all of you. We are in awe of this model, and I'm sure many countries would love to replicate such a model. Culture as a unifier, unifying the people of a country.
Thank you very much for sharing your insight and for your time.
Thank you so much.
And we hope you have a wonderful stay here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.